Hi, I'm the Tabletop Teacher, and this is video number 2 in the Marvel Heroclix X-Men Rise and Fall series. Thanks again to Wizkids for sending us this brick to preview. Let's see what we got in the second booster. A Sentinel, Smasher, Blob, Magneto, and the rare Prime Omega Red. Ooh, that's a great pull right there. Sentinel is a 25-point giant with a range value of 6. 2 targeting bolts, sidestep, incapacitate, and a damage reducer on every click. Now, I think the most common use of Sentinel will be on the sideline, waiting to be activated. If an opponent lands 3 attacks in a turn, or 2 made by characters with the X-Men keyword, you place a Sentinel from your sideline on click number 1 in your starting area. If you have room for it, there's no reason not to have a couple of these on your sideline. It's unlikely you'll need many more, though, because when they are knocked out, these Sentinels return to the sideline instead of being put in the knockout area. Being a giant with a speed value of 10 and sidestep, a Sentinel could also be used as a good taxi for standard characters. Very nice. I want at least a couple of these for sure. Smasher can be played at 100 points for 9 clicks or 30 points for 3 clicks. He's a close attacker that can use sidestep, toughness, and close combat expert on every click, but he can also choose 1 power from a short list and perhaps a second on that list on a roll of 5 or 6 with his Exospecs technology trait. At 100 points, this could turn into a charge flurry combo, for instance, with 12 attack and 4 damage with the close combat expert kicking in. Then on the next turn, maybe choose poison to finish off whoever resisted that first onslaught. But you could also do that with only 30 points, with lower combat values. He reminds me of the Atom a little bit from the Joker's Wild set in 2016, which saw a lot of play back then. I love this sculpt and paint job. He is gorgeous. Now for 50 points, you get a reliable close attacker with 7 clicks that can take a hit with his impervious defense on the first 5 clicks. And with the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, you just might get more action out of Blob than your opponent is prepared for. Add regeneration on the last 2 clicks, and he could stick around for quite a while if he stays away from characters that deal penetrating damage. Nice. This is a short dial version of Magneto, but it's not a character you would add as an afterthought on a team. He's the kind of character you build around. That's because of his recruiting soldiers and the War for Mutant Supremacy trait. With Magneto on your team, when the game begins, you can look at your opponent's characters in their starting area and replace up to 5 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline. Now, all of these must have one of the keywords Magneto has, and must have different names, but it still allows you to start the game with characters better suited to face your opponent. Telekinesis and leadership are great things to have for a character like this. With 4 clicks, he's not going to be on the front line, but with 11 attack and 3 damage and a range of 6, with 2 targeting bolts, he can hold his own in a fight when needs be. He starts with an 18 defense with energy shield deflection, and friendly characters with a shared keyword within range and line of fire can also use energy shield deflection. This seems like a very promising piece, especially for Silver Age Pauper format games. We got a rare Prime in this brick, that's really nice. With traded Giant Reach 3 and Flurry, Omega Red is already very dangerous. The same trait makes it so that hit characters modify attack and damage -1 until your next turn. Ouch! Add Sidestep, Charge, and Plasticity top dial, and he's simply brutal. Steal energy on his bottom dial, especially with a 12 attack and probability control on his stop click, will make it very hard to knock him out. If you pair him with a character like Tessa from House of X, you could boost all of his combat values. Tessa has a Perplex variant that modifies all of a character's combat values +1 if they have the X-Men keyword, but the cost is 1 unavoidable damage to that character. Omega Red can take it on his first click without too much fuss, since his second click is identical to his first. I really like this guy. So, out of the 5 characters we pulled in this booster, which one are you most excited to play? In which team would you play it? Let us know which and why in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and support on Patreon. And thanks for unboxing with me.